YouTube, what's happening? Zay Learns in full effect. First of all, I'd like to thank a lot of you guys who've been supporting the channel. I really appreciate it, and just continuous support. It means a lot to me that there's people out there that is on this journey with me, and I will promise to present the best content that I can possibly put out there for you guys. So the question that I had from somebody on my previous video is that, can semen retention help ADHD? Now, in my personal experience, there's no scientific proof that semen retention can help ADHD, but I can tell you from my experience that I had difficulties concentrating when I was watching pornography, or I was releasing and doing all the stuff that I should not have been doing. You know, I even in college, in high school, you know, having these type of addictions, it did have an effect on my overall drive and my performance. I was a pretty good football player in high school. But the problem was I had trouble with staying in shape. You know, I had the talent, but at the same time I had issues with my knees, you know, weak knees, and just the work ethic wasn't as solid as it is today. I actually feel more in shape now than I did when I was in high school. Little did I know that the issue with pornography and masturbation has a huge effect on an individual's performance, especially on the football field or in athletics. Obviously, your energy is a lot higher in high school to where you don't really realize, but it does have an effect on your overall energy. But how does it relate to ADHD? It does affect your concentration when you're in school, when you're studying for a test. You know, when you have that energy and that brain power inside you, you'll be able to channel that energy towards your goals, whether you're studying for a test, whether you're trying to learn a new skill. That has an effect on your overall energy and brain power to where you can focus on different things, read books, listen to music, learn new skills. So with ADHD, I know for me, my concentration was not the best. And because it wasn't the best, my grades weren't at its peak when I was in high school and even in college. Now, I graduated with my master's degree in business administration in 2015. During that time, towards the end, that's when I started. I was working on ending the cycle of pornography and all that stuff. But there was a time, I believe in 2012, where I just went a whole year without doing it. And I just seen the result. That was during the time that I locked in at my job, and I ended up getting a raise. And I actually had some issues with my job paying me right. But I had the assertiveness to stand up to my boss and say, you know, you guys haven't been paying me right this last year and a half. And even though that conflict I had with my boss, I was still able to get the raise, even though they promoted me and transferred me because they didn't want to deal with me standing up to them and fighting for my own wages. I ended up getting transferred and promoted. So during that time, I was still going through those up and downs, and I lost confidence, and I went down that journey and I relapsed, and I just kept on going up and down. And then something happened in 2016 to where I made that change. But during that time, I still had issues with my focus. I had issues with paying attention and listening. And a lot of it has to do with the level of energy that you lose when you release your seed. And when you release your seed, you're tired. You don't want to pay any attention to anything. At times you want to sleep. You want to Uh, you want to go to instant gratification. You eat a bunch of junk. You play a lot of video games. You waste your time. And when you're doing that, you at times you don't really see it yourself, but other people see it around you. It's almost like you're a zombie. And there was times when I was go to work as a cashier, and and I one of the cashiers said, "Hey, what's wrong with you today? You're like a zombie." And I was during that time, and between 2013 2015, I was. But then there was a light that switched, and it's like, you know what? I gotta do something. I gotta make that change. I gotta make that change for my life. And believe me, it was not easy at the very beginning. It was hard. You have those days where you have stuff that's not functioning right, and you feel like oh dang, I need to go back because I feel like But usually you go through those times where you have the flat line. You go through the times where you're struggling. You have these chronic headaches, and you feel like, dang, this ain't even worth it. I didn't go back. But that's the time where you stick with it and keep going. And you're gonna go through those stages. Now, as it relates to ADHD, I would say that I have ADHD, but I noticed that I had trouble with concentration. And as soon as I continue on this journey of semen retention, I noticed that I was able to focus more, be more attentive, and there was more intrigue. I was more interested in things compared to when I was relapsing and doing all that stuff. I didn't really care as much about anything, except just doing reckless stuff. But when I got delivered from that, I just started, you have this brain power and that energy that you're transforming to different stuff. And you may have some issues with concentrating. I highly suggest, speaking to a doctor or, getting checked. But for me, I've noticed that my focus was a lot better and is a lot more sharpened when I am on semen retention. It's not scientifically proven, but I know for me that my grades got better once my master's degree program. I noticed that whenever I was working, there's always these tests that we have each month that we take for improved training, and I would pass the test, finish the test like that. And before, when I was in high school, I had trouble taking multiple choice questions tests all the time. I just had difficulties. But I noticed now that I was able to process information quicker and take tests, and it was a lot easier. I was able to process a lot faster and quicker. And I'm not just gonna put everything on semen retention, but I did notice that there was an improvement with my concentration and focus by being on this journey. Now, you can still have the same success without semen retention. I mean, no fap, you could still have success and be a highly successful and functioning individual. But what I'm saying is, when you're single and you're not dating right now, getting away from that and focusing on the skills that you need to improve on, that will help your focus. That'll help you channel your energy towards the areas of your life that you need to improve. And with that focus, it'll help you become a better man and help you improve in the areas that you need to improve on. Like I said, it's not scientifically proven that semen retention helps with ADHD, but for me, in my experience, which I had issues with concentration and focus, it has helped me focus and concentrate a lot better to where I'm able to learn new skills and adapt and change and grow. So that's all I have for you. I hope that answers that question for you. Obviously, it's not scientifically proven that semen retention helps ADHD, but it can play in factor with your concentration because you're not putting your energy towards things that's going to take away from your life. If anything, by retaining, you're actually adding towards your life and adding towards focus and concentration and building yourself. So that's all I have for today. Until the next video, much love. Zay Learns, out.